don't forget to check out the clip at the end of the video for more information on the channel. But in case you don't get a chance to, let me know your feelings. Share it on the video. That means liking, disliking, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know what you think, and that also helps the channel grow too. First, it's all about locating your spare tire. And that, not spare tire, sorry, your tools. Your spare tire is underneath the car. We'll see that in a bit. But your tools, which are all in here. So I'm just going to lift my cover. You'll see a little button here with a handle. Lift that right up. Now, normally, it's back there. I keep actually my tools right here because I always carry a toolkit. You never know when you may need one or need one. Someone else may need one. And this, having this here, prevents this from moving all over the place and sliding around in here like crazy, which you can see it's actually had done previously. But normally you wouldn't have that. Normally, you actually go here. There's two handles here. So you go, lift that right out. Put that aside. And the tools will be strapped onto this spot right here. Just two straps you release. And then if you need to get your jack, then it's held on with this right here. And then you can release it. If it's something where, you know, it's somewhere you're not at home or anything, you need to use a jack, and you release your jack and you use that here. I have a separate video on how to use one of these jacks on your car and what to do and even how to maintain your jack and everything. You can check that out. So I'm not going to take this out here. I'm just showing you how to drop this spare on your Infiniti Jx35 and QX60. Okay, so now we're going to take everything out here and just see what we'll be using. So open this up, let's pull some stuff out. So we've got this, which anchors into the kind of socket that goes over here. You'll see that in a second. Tire iron. And that socket that's in here too. There it is. And the socket. And there's also this. We won't be needing this right now. And to get to the mechanism to drop your spares right here, so you just turn that and pull right out. Okay, now assembly of this is pretty simple. This is the socket that goes onto that right over there. This fits right into here, like this. And that goes right into there like that. Okay, and now when you put this on, put it on like this, but put it with the tire iron side up. What this is effectively does, it makes it like a speed handle. You can hold this and turn real quick. Now, when you're doing this, do know that, again, if you're doing it now, I mean, the oldest car is 2013. We're only talking 6 years at the time of this filming. You know, the mechanism and everything should be, for the most part, still in good condition. But depending on when you're watching this video, if you're watching it, you know, in 2021, 2023, who knows, and who knows how old your Infiniti is. These mechanisms, especially ones that are underneath the car, tend to gum up, seize, give issues and stuff like that. So when you're releasing the first time, do it slow and make sure nothing breaks so you don't get any issues or anything like that. No seizing. So basically you just hold here, and the first little bit you're going to turn nice and slow, right? Then you'll stop and do a check underneath. Make sure nothing's broken. You didn't hear any weird clunking or breaking noises. Nothing snapped. The tire's not. I've had one car where we turned a few times. Not on. It was a Chevy Venture, if I remember correctly, or Pontiac Montana, or something like that. And after releasing the mechanism a bit, the whole tire and poof, and just fell and was just hanging there because the whole mechanism broke. So you know you got to be careful of that sort of thing. So to make sure nothing's happened. If not, then you could just go with a speed handle, like a speed handle. One hand here, and just turn. Now, as I'm doing this, let me get the camera down below so you can see what that looks like. So this is spare tire here, and you can already see that it's dropping down there. You can see the entire mechanism. That's where it leads to, where the cable is wound in, and it comes along here and feeds along here, over here. So as I'm winding that, it's releasing this cable and allowing it to drop, which is now, as you can see, the tire normally mounted all the way up there. Now it can easily move around and stuff. But you need to drop this all the way. So pretty much you're turning that bolt at the top up here. You're going to turn that until it gets tight. You don't want to break it, so you're just turning it, and once you feel like it's essentially hand tight, you just stop. By then, this tire should be on the ground, and then you can take off all the mechanism and everything. So let's just show you. I'm going to wind it down. I'm just going to let the camera so you can see what it looks like going down. Now you'll notice I wound it all the way down, and it got to the ground, and I kept winding because there's still a lot of cable. You want to give yourself as much play as possible to be able to get this out as much as possible to make your life a little bit easier. So I wound that essentially, I'll show you here, so basically it stops. Don't go anymore. As soon as it hits that point, you stop, and that's it. And now you got to do work on the next spot. Next thing is that anchor right here. You got to get this through this hole, and it's meant to be very hard to do because you don't want to be driving around this falls out. So how this works is it's a two-step. You see this kind of spring here? It fits, I'll show you, kind of right there. It fits into this, and that's what's supposed to create the tension and hold it in place. So the idea is that when you lift the tire, you got to push this cable out and give this enough room so that you could take this anchor, twist it, and pull it out. That part is a little tricky to do, but I'll show you. So we're going to lift it, and you can see now, create a little bit of room. We're going to bring this down, and you got to work from underneath and above. Let me see, hopefully you guys are seeing there. And the point is to try and feed through. Again, not the easiest to do. There you go. And now you have access to your tire. So now you've gone ahead and you've got your spare tire out, as you see here. You've changed your tire. You've got this on for now. It's actually a good size. It's an 18-inch rim, but it's a good size tire. It's like very good ratio that we have here. It's like 165/90 R18, so it's got like a huge sidewall here. So the car is not going to lean like I've seen some cars. You put the donut on and you're leaning. This doesn't lean, so it's nice. However, you don't want to necessarily put your stock rims on this mechanism because this, right, when you have to feed this through, first off, I don't even know if this opening here is going to be big enough to fit through on the factory tire. But aside from that, this is going to damage the finish. So you really don't want to do that if you can. So you're going to be putting your tire in your car, probably in your trunk or something like that, unless you're in a pinch where you have like a loaded car and you have no choice. But, you know, then you've just got to wind this up. And what I'll warn you about when you're winding it is, as you're winding, make sure you're checking. So it's just winding this just as you would, going, winding up. And it's going to be very easy to wind up because there's no tension on here. There's no weight. But as you're winding up, right, you want to be stopping every once in a while, checking, make sure the cable doesn't bind up or anything like that. And you want to wind it all the way up until, again, it's near the top. You'll feel like this gets hand tight, and then you leave it, and then that's it. Get your tire repaired, and then move on to the next step. Okay, and now installation of it. So let's just say now you've got your flat tire has been fixed. You want to put your spare tire back. Installation is the reverse. A little bit tricky, as you saw before, just because getting that bracket through, it's kind of, you know, there is some tension in the cable, so it's a little tricky, but not terribly hard. So you just take your spare, bring it right over here. Here it comes. And we're going to slide it right in. And the same idea as before. So we're going in from the back. We're going to put that spring piece in first, and then we've got to kind of move that bracket in, turn it, and push it through, and then just let it go, and then you just wind back up. So bring this around here, put that through, and you just push that through there like that. And again, it's a little tricky with this cable here. seeing it there. It's just about wiggling it around and moving it, folding it essentially till it comes in. There you go. Then you just turn it. So as you see, I just kind of worked it from the top and the bottom until I got it through by just twisting and moving. And then once you get it here, just got to make sure that that will go like that, right? So that kind of base there is coming through the hole, and then you just wind back up. All right, so you've already seen the winding mechanism in place, so I'm just going to now just go ahead and turn it. It's right over here, and just see as you're going to see the tire move and pull up as I work. So we're just going to go and do that now. Now as it starts pulling in, stop every once in a while, just check. For example, this may move, things like that. I'm going to move it in a bit. Put that down for a sec. Now if this comes out of position, try and reposition it, that sort of thing. Just keep an eye on it as you go. Oops. So now as you start getting some tension as the weight of the tire is starting to rest on it, that's where you can go in and make any final adjustments. Turn as you hold. Because once it catches and you're good, you're all set. Alright, I'm just going to adjust the camera angle for you guys because now you're just seeing me turn. Let's go look at the tire. Oh, I haven't wound it anymore, but just to see, just so you have an idea. Here's a spare here. And you can see where the anchor is now sitting. See how it's sitting right inside. This main piece here has to be in here. And those two pieces that stick out anchor on to the spare. So this right here is pretty good, exactly where it needs to be. So now let me just put this right onto the tripod. Right, and from here I'm just going to go up and wind, and I'm just going to let you guys see the tire go up. Yeah, it's very unexciting, but at least you'll see what it looks like, right? This is very easy to do, especially when I showed you how to do it like kind of like a speed handle. Makes it very easy. I'm just doing a quick pit stop just to see. I'm going to check it now from underneath and make sure it's sitting okay. Looking good. And from here, I'm just going to wind all the way. You want to make sure it's good and firm and tight. Let's call it hand tight essentially. But you don't want to go too tight. You don't want to snap the cable or anything. Especially depending when you've watched this video. You know, it could be a few years from now or anything. These cables can become rusty or anything. You want to be careful with that. So you want to make sure it's good and hand tight. So there you can see the tire is repositioned correctly. The anchor is sitting correctly. Right back where it needs to be. And as you can see here, see, it's pretty much hand tight. That's it. And you're all good. You're back. So now you can just take all this off, put everything back into your little baggie there, and you're all set, ready to go. Now the YouTube stuff. I always love a great feedback. So make sure right off the bat to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Now, if you like something on the channel, definitely like it. Give it that thumbs up. If you disliked it, thumbs down for sure, but let me know why. That's what the comment section are for, and whatever it is, if you like something, then I know it's working, and if you dislike something, then I know something didn't. But let me know why, so I can continue to build a channel and make it better for me and for you. Aside from that, commenting is great too, so If there's something you can do better, something you can do different, any tips for other viewers, I'm all about that too. So make sure to put that in there. If you have a question about something that's maybe not even related directly to the video, leave that for me as well. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next video.